It is time for All-Star Race Weekend at Charlotte Motor Speedway for the Castrol GTX Cup Series. And first off, to kick things off, it's the Winston Open at Charlotte, North Carolina, Charlotte Motor Speedway. In the top two, so remember this, the top two finishers in this race, the first and second place finishers, will advance into the Winston All-Star Race. So, if you're third on down the line, then, well, better luck for the 600. So anyway, on the pole for the Open, it's Charles Sanford, number 75. Beside him, Cameron Gilson in the 1. Row 2, Pichu London in 12. And the 44, Kyle Austin. And here comes the command to fire them up here at Charlotte.
Drivers, start your engines!
Man, giving the fire the engines. Row number 3 has Austin Ogo in the 30. And beside him in the 18, it's Kevin White. Row number 4 has the 68 of Jeremy Doobie and the 7 of Tommy Hernick. Row number 5 has Jeff James in the 21 and the 25 of Tanner Doobie. That's row number 5, yeah. And then row 6, Jacob Lawler in the 94 and the 14 of Luke Walker. Pontiac and Oldsmobile in the top 2 spots in qualifying as the field rounds corner number 4. The pace car ducks off on pit road, 20 laps. The distance here today at Charlotte as the green flag waves. And let's go racing at Charlotte. And jumping out in front is Charles Sanford, number 75. Pichu London going into second place right now. 20 laps, the segment here at the Winston Open. And 20 will be the distance for the All-Star race. Off of corner number 4, London to the inside. That's Pichu inside of Charles Sanford. And then Sanford lead the first lap of the race. But Pichu diving inside for the lead. And he's got it with the help of Austin Ogo in the 30. His dad, Bobby Ogo, is in the All-Star race by virtue of winning 2 races this season so far. And 68 now, Jeremy Doobie, who had a good car at Richmond the last race on the tour. had a good car that maybe they could have contended for the win. But unfortunately, fate dealt a huge blow for that team and ended up wrecking out of the race. And now here comes Jeff James on the inside in number 21. Jacob Lawler, one of the superstars of the Mountain Dew Racing Series and Mopar Nationwide Series, runs 4th right now, with Drew Austin in the 19 running in 5th. That's a new team, by the way, in this series, owned by Chad Little's dad, Chuck, which is now getting passed by the 52 of Daniel Day. Ty Sheets in the 83, he's right there, the Wins Kmart Oldsmobile. And Jeremy Doobie now goes into the lead now, hoping to join. He and Tanner hoping to join Keith and Ann Batson both in the Winston All-Star race. Both Keith and Ann won a race since the season 2 Coca-Cola 600, since the previous season Coca-Cola 600. Doobie leads the lap now. Last lap by 188.488 miles an hour. And now here comes 94, Jacob Lawler on the inside with the number 83 of Ty Sheets. A pair of Oldsmobiles hooking up for the draft. Now Daniel Day trying for 3rd position. Now Drew Austin in the 19 going for 4th. And Kyle Matthews, and I tell you, there's anybody deserving of a spot in the All-Star race, the way he's been running this season, it's been Kyle Matthews. And remember, he got oh so close at Rockingham. And I actually honestly thought he was going to win that race too at Rockingham, but then Dylan Poteet made a last couple lap charge and robbed him of a win there. But Kyle Matthews, I say he's deserving to win that race. And in fact, Matthews clicked off the first lap at over 190 miles an hour at 190.001. So barely over 190 on this track. In fact, here comes Matthews on the inside of the lead with a shove of the 68 of Jeremy Doobie, as he tries to take the lead away from Drew Austin. Austin in the Ford, Matthews in the Oldsmobile. And they're going to pace this race as if they're going to line it up and start all over again at over 190 miles an hour. Just great racing here at Charlotte here with these Aero 88 cars. They've given some tremendous racing this season so far, especially on tracks we didn't think was going to get some good racing. But and now here comes Jeremy Doobie inside for the lead, and he's going to get it. And now Evan Jones in the 9 dives inside the Coors Light Ford. Going for the lead, and he's got, and problems. Ty Sheets hits the wall coming in turn number 2. And he holds up Drew Austin in the 19. What's Drew Austin doing with Ty Sheets? Nope, Drew's hung up behind. Well, that was weird. Drew Austin, I thought he was going to get out of the way of Ty Sheets, but Ty, I don't know if he wasn't going to let Drew Austin go or what. That was crazy. Anyway, Ty Sheets slammed the wall in turn number 1 the last time by. All the while now, Tanner Doobie takes the lead with now Jeff James in the 21 going into for the lead now. He's got Pichu London right behind, Cameron Gilson in the 1. Tommy Hernick, now here's a man who's been very impressive this season so far. Currently top 10 in the points chase for that championship car from a season ago with Jasmine Acosta behind the wheel. And now Hernick making the best out of everything so far in his rookie appearance. And so too is the guy in the 18, Kevin White, has had sporadic success so far in his rookie season. But he right now trying to get himself a spot in position to get a spot in the All-Star race. Like I said, you have to be in the top 2 finishing positions to make it to the All-Star race. So it's all about getting in the position in the right place at the right time. And right now, White runs in 3rd position, but he's about to lose it to Jeremy Doobie in the 68 and Samuel Ogo in the 4. Three wide right behind it's Charles Sanford, Pulsar pretty open. He's going to have the shove in the 44 of Kyle Austin. And meanwhile, Cameron Gilson takes the lead in the number 1 car with Jeremy Doobie close behind, Samuel Ogo in the 4. Daniel Day in the 52's right there, Tanner Doobie in the 25. And Doobie, Jeremy that is, takes the lead in the 68 car. That car's in the All-Star race a season ago with Joshua Osborne behind the wheel. And Osborne, by virtue of being the former champion in this series, has a permanent spot. But we'll explain the rules a little bit later in the All-Star race itself. But right now, Daniel Day takes the lead with now Jeff James in the 21 going inside of Tanner Doobie for the number 2 spot. Ford on the inside, Chevy on the outside, and a Pontiac out front. And in 4th place right now with Charles Sanford in the 75. Excuse me. Backstretch, Charles Sanford, 75 car inside of Jeff James. Samuel Ogo's right there. Kyle Matthews giving another shot at it in the 29. 4 laps to go in the Winston Open. Ogo shoves the 75 of Charles Sanford up high now. Samuel tries to go to the inside for the number 2 spot. Kyle Matthews trying to help. He's got another Ogo right behind us. Austin in the 30 car, the Pennzoil Pontiac. And Austin, I thought there was going to make it 4 wide. That wouldn't have been a smart move. 3 to go. And oh! And Charles Sanford goes into the wall coming out of turn number 2. That may be the break Kyle Matthews needs to get himself a number 2 position in this race. But it's not done yet because here comes Evan Jones and Jacob Lawler making forming a line to the inside. 2 laps to go in the Winston Open. Stephen Pollard III runs in 3rd right now, but Evan Jones in the 9 dives inside for the number 2 spot, or number 3 spot rather. Jacob Lawler getting himself into the mix now in the 94 car. Meanwhile, Daniel Day and Kyle Matthews have the top 2 spots right now. They'll see the white flag this time by. Matthews dives inside of Daniel Day for the lead. Off of corner number 4, the white flag waves in the Winston Open. 1 lap remaining. Will Daniel Day and Kyle Matthews hold the top 2 spots? Not if Evan Jones got anything to say about that. The 90's closing. And problems in turn number 1. Meanwhile, Kyle Matthews took a peek on the inside in turn number 2. Matthews trying the inside of Daniel Day as they go on turn number 3 now. Daniel moves up high. Matthews down low, and they come off of corner number 4. Daniel Day wins the Winston Open, and Kyle Matthews will finish 2nd. So that means Daniel Day and Kyle Matthews will transfer into the All-Star race. Evan Jones was oh so close in 3rd position. And we'll take a look as to what happened in replay. And it looked like Jeff James in the 21. Yeah, that bunch got bunched up there going in turn number 1. Let's look in replay. The Ogos were the one that caused Jeff James to crash. Samuel tapped Austin, and Jeremy, how did Jeremy Mayer not crash was beyond me. But the Ogos and Jeff James have tapped the wall, and it sounded like a big crash there for a minute going into turn number 1, but anyway, it's just well, here's how the finishing order is right now. Average speed 185.854 miles an hour. And here's the finishing order for the Winston Open. And for the 3rd place on down, better luck at the Coca-Cola 600 at Charlotte. Here on this track. Daniel Day wins the race. Kyle Matthews finishes in 2nd place. So Daniel Day and Kyle Matthews will transfer into the All-Star race. Evan Jones ends up 3rd. Jacob Lawler 4th. Tanner Doobie, Cameron Gilson, Tanner Doobie, Luke Walker, Stephen Pollard III, and Charles Sanford, our pole sitter, finishes in 10th, and Johnny Gardner 11th. Johnny, that's going to crush him. He was really hoping to make the All-Star race. Drew Austin, Tommy Hernick, Kyle Matthews, Kevin White, Pichu London, Jeremy Mayer, Samuel Ogo, Austin Ogo, Jeff James, and Ty Sheets, the last place finisher. So we'll be right back for the running of the big show, the Castrol GTX Cup Series, Winston All-Star Race for Season 8. Don't miss it. It is the main event. It is the running of the Winston All-Star Race for Season 8 for the Castrol GTX Cup Series. 20 laps around this racetrack. And all out and no bulls what it is. And the All-Star Race, of course, it means winners from the previous previous season's Coca-Cola 600 at Charlotte. And all your Castrol GTX Cup Series champions, that's provided if they sign up for the series, by the way. And so here we go. On the pole for this season's Winston All-Star Race is Nick Baxter in car number 2. Last season's winner at Atlanta, the spring race at Atlanta. He was actually supposed to be in an All-Star Race last season, so made up for that. Starting on the outside pole, the number 3, GM Goodwrench Chevrolet. It's Ann Batson in car number 3. She'll start in number 2 position, row number 3. He got in this race by winning at Richmond, the last race of the tour. The man who runs the BK Have It Your Way Nationwide Series, his Truck Series, and the Walt Cup Series, all those series. It's Charles Jackson, the number 5, Levi Garrett Chevrolet, a 1988 Monte Carlo. His teammate starts on the outside of our number 2. It's number 6, the Strolight Ford. It is Jack Richards. He got him by winning the last season's Southern 500 at Darlington, South Carolina. Row number 3, the number 8, Miller American Buick. Won a race a season ago in this series. It's the 1987 Buick he's driving. The number 8, Miller American Buick of Cody Lama starts inside in row number 4 in the number 7 spot. Outside row number 4, starting 8th in this race, the Budweiser Ford, the 1988 Monte Carlo. She got in this race by winning the last season's Brickyard 400 at Indianapolis. It is Adrian Becker starting in 8th position. Starting 9th in the field, inside row number 5, he got in this race by winning at the spring race at Dover Downs International Speedway. The number 15 Motorcraft Ford Thunderbird 1987 model. It is Mike Becker. Starting outside row number 5, and starting in the number 10 position, the Season 1 champion of the Castrol GTX Cup Series, the defending champion of the Winston All-Star Race as well. It is the number 17 Tide Chevrolet 1988 Monte Carlo, the man who runs the Mountain Dew Racing Series and the Mopar Nationwide Series, Dylan Poteet. Starting in the number 11 position, he got his race by winning a few races last season. The number 20 Crown Petroleum Oldsmobile, a 1988 Oldsmobile. It is the number 20 car of the Doctor, Dalton Day. Starting in 12th position, number 24 DuPont Chevrolet Limited 1993 model. It is the number 24 DuPont Chevrolet, the California winner this season, Ryan Cooper. Starting in 13th spot, the number 26 Quaker State Buick, a 1987 model, the Season 2 champion of the Castrol GTX Cup Series. Here's the number 26 Quaker State Buick of Joshua Osborne. Outside of him, the Daytona 500 winner of the season, as well as the winner at Bristol, the spring race this season. She's one of the rookies in the field in the 1987 Pontiac. The Kodiak 27 of Nicole Williams. Starting in the number 15th position, the number 28 Texaco Haviland Ford Thunderbird, a 1987 model. He got in his race by winning a few races last season. Has not had a good start to the season so far this season, at least. The number 28 Texaco Haviland Ford of Keith Batson. One of the transfers in the All-Star Race and made it to the inside. He finished second in the Winston Open. The number 29 Hardee's Oldsmobile 1987 model of Kyle Matthews. Then this man won 2 in a row this season, starting in number 17 position. The 1987 Skull Bennett Chevy Monte Carlo winner this season at Martinsville and Talladega, Bobby Ogo. Starting in 18th position, the number 52, Alka-Seltzer Pontiac, the winner of the Winston All-Star Open, Daniel Day. And finally, shotgun in 19th position, winner of the season at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, the number 90 Red Hood Baron for the Ford, 1987 Thunderbird of Rohit Vaderview.
Drivers, Start your engines!
And just in time, the command has been given to fire the motors here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. The field of 19 getting ready to line up. The field lined up in 2x2 formation. But the next time they go up into turn number 1, they'll be in there at almost 160 miles per hour. Nick Baxter. The number 2, Miller Genuine Draft Pontiac, which was driven by Johnny Gardner last season as a Ford. Beautiful formation here. 9.5 rows deep. 20 laps make up the distance of this race. And you know that they will want to add their name to the winners of the ones who's won this prestigious All-Star race. It's no points, just a lot of cold hard cash, if only it were real, of course. But let's just say no points, but just a whole lot of pride at stake. And like I said, you know they want to add their names to the ones who's won this race. Nick Baxter. And Ann Batson will lead him down. The pace car ducks off quarter number 4. 20 laps to settle the whole thing here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Green flag waves and boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing, boys and girls. Charles Jackson 3 wide for the lead to kick things off. And Baxter and Batson side by side. They touch in turn number 1. 3 wide for the lead. And it's Charles Jackson out in front. Cody Lamas in the number 2 position now. In the third, trying for third, is the 15 of Mike Becker. Lamas inside for the lead. And Cody Lamas will lead the first lap. Here comes Mike Becker for the number 1 spot. And boy, they're just getting racy in turn number 1. Jackson and Batson way up the track. Mike Becker out in front. Dalton Day trying for the lead now in turn number 20. He's got the Chevron Joshua Osborne in 26. Oldsmobile trying for first alongside the Ford with a pair of Buicks alongside. Second lap, over 184 miles an hour in this draft. And it's Dalton Day in first now. Joshua Osborne in the second. Osborne, who's had strong cars all season long, just has nothing to show for it so far. He got his race by winning the Season 2 championship in this series. Dalton Day, the Season 6 champion. Here comes Osborne, car 26 for the lead. He's not going to get this lap. Last time by 186.5 miles an hour. Keith Batson trying for second. He's going to try for turn number 2. But he wants more. He's going for the lead with the help of Nicole Williams. Batson started 15th in this race. And Keith Batson will lead the lap now. Nicole Williams for the lead in turn number 1. And you're riding on board with Nicole Williams in car number 27. That's what it's like to ride along over 180 miles an hour on this racetrack. The last time by, Nicole led the lap and she topped 187 miles an hour. Over 188 out of some drivers. The speeds increase as the laps go by. Rohit Baderview to the lead now, but here comes Daniel Day, one of the transfers. He won the Winston Open. And Daniel Day takes the lead now. He's making the most of his last minute entry in the All-Star race. Ryan Cooper now for second for the lead now. Joshua Osborne trying to take another stab at it. But he's got another All-Star transfer, All-Star Open transfer. Kyle Matthews. He wants to up his All-Star Open result by 1 spot. And that, of course, being a win. Matthews inside for the lead, and he's going to get it with the help of the 66 car of Jack Richards, who now moves up the track, and now his good buddy Dylan Poteet tries inside for the lead. Poteet was the defending race winner in the All-Star race. He also won his race in Season 1. He's got Nicole Williams in a 27 right behind, and another woman, Ann Batson, who's the outside pole sitter. On board with Ann Batson in car number 3, the GM Goodwrench Chevrolet, the Season 5 winner of this race. And now we have a front bumper cam on Ann Batson's machine. Batson trying for the number 2 position now. She takes away from Dylan Poteet. Now pulls onto the back bumper of Kyle Matthews. And she's got Cody Lamas all over her in number 8. This time Bobby halfway, 10 down in the books, 10 laps to go in a Winston All-Star race. Part of the race, we got no one to hold him and no one to fold him. Kyle Matthews, 10 laps to go now, leads the race. Ann Batson in the second now. Nick Baxter going for the 3rd position now on Cody Lamas. Bobby Ogo and Keith Batson make a 3 wide inside of Charles Jackson. And Batson has got the shove in the 15 of Mike Becker. And here comes Batson for the lead. Ann Batson, that is. And Ann's going to take the lead. Ann's not had a good season so far in that number 3 GM Goodwrench Chevrolet. But an all-star win, hope would maybe give her some momentum she needs for the 600, which she's the defending champion there, as a matter of fact. Eight laps to go. Cody Lamas to second, but now here comes Kyle Matthews, makes a crossover move inside of Lamas. And Keith Batson, Ann's husband, now trying to get anyone up there, his wife. Just some tremendous racing in the All-Star event, and this, I feel it made it a little bit better here. And now Matthews and Lamas get freight train. Mike Becker inside of Keith Batson for the number 2 spot. He's got the help from Dylan Poteet in the number 17. Bobby Ogo. He makes his way up to the field now. Ogo's had one of the strong cars as of late. Becker to second. 6 laps to go. Dylan Poteet for 3rd. He's got it, but maybe only momentarily, because that 33 of Bobby Ogo's got a lot of horsepower in the hood of that Skull Bandit. But Cody Lamas, he shoves Ogo up high now. And he's got the help from the 20 of Dalton Day, or had the help from the 20 of Dalton Day. And now Ryan Cooper's going to try to find his way through the mix now. Mike Becker stalking Ann Batson like a vulture now. 5 laps to go. 4 when they come to the stripe. Poteet tries for the number 2 spot now. Chevy in first. Ford in second. Chevy in third. A Ford caught in the middle of a Chevy sandwich. Four laps to go. Cody Lamas for the number 3 spot. Ryan Cooper runs in 5th now. Bobby Ogo in 6th. 7th is now Dalton Day. 8th is Charles Jackson. 9th Nicole Williams. 10th Daniel Day. 3 laps to go. Can Ann Batson hold them all off? She's giving a good shot right now. Cody Lum is trying inside of Mike Becker for second. Ogo now up to fourth. And here comes Lamas. Cody Lamas inside for number 2 spot. And Batson knows now she's got 2 laps to go. She's got one eye out front and one eye on the rear view mirror now. 2 laps to go. Are we in for a finish? We're about fixed to find out. Next time by will be the white flag. It's the part of the race where the BS stops when the green flag drops. It'll be the BS stops when the white flag drops here in a minute. As Bobby Ogo tries to the inside of Cody Lamas for second. White flag waves, 1 more lap remaining here in Charlotte. Here comes Cody Lamas on the inside of Ann Batson for the number 1 spot. Dalton Day shoves him. They go to turn number 1 side by side. Dalton Day tries for second. Here comes Ryan Cooper. Cooper's gonna shove Dalton Day. Here they come down the backstretch of the 3rd turn now. Day on the inside of Lamas. He shoves Lamas up high. Here they come up the 4th corner. Lamas and Cooper side by side. 3-1 it is. Dalton Day winning it. What a finish to the Season 8 All-Star race. Dalton Day takes the win. Whew. Just incredible racing here in a Season 8 All-Star event. And Dalton Day has won this race now for the 4th time. And Cody Lamas following him. I don't know what's going on here, but just tremendous racing here. Average speed 184.968. Margin of victory 0.055. Ryan Cooper edged out Cody Lamas for second by scant 0.006 of a second, but whew. And here's the final finishing order. Dalton Day wins it. Ryan Cooper second. 3rd, Cody Lamas. 4th, Charles Jackson. 5th, Ann Batson. 6th, Nicole Williams. 7th was Bobby Ogo. Mike Becker 8th. Dylan Poteet 9th. Daniel Day 10th. Whew. Then Adrian Becker, Kyle Matthews, Jack Richards, Nick Baxter, Rohit Baderview, Keith Batson, and Joshua Osborne dead last in the field. Wow, what racing in the Season 8 All-Star event. And it's Dalton Day taking the win on number 20 Crown Petroleum Oldsmobile. Gets his 4th All-Star victory in the Castrol GTX Cup Series. And so, congratulations to the winner of the race here, and we will see you for the Cup Cars will take the truck to the Cup Car 600. Nationwide will be next after this race. Yeah. So congratulations to the race winner, Dalton Day. We'll see you for the Nationwide race here at Charlotte.